The unwanted gift. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the observation deck of Luna Station, her weathered hands clasped behind her back as she watched the massive alien vessel approach. The ship's hull gleamed dully in the stark sunlight, its kilometer-long frame dwarfing the human escort vessels surrounding it. But something about its movement seemed off, like a wounded animal trying to hide its limp. "They're mocking us," muttered Dr. Raj Patel, Earth Defense Force's Chief of Engineering. He tapped rapidly on his tablet, his dark eyes narrowing at the incoming sensor data. The power readings from that ship are barely enough to keep it moving. The Galactic Council didn't give us a warship. They gave us space junk. Chen kept her expression neutral, though her jaw tightened imperceptibly. After 15 years of humanity proving themselves worthy of joining the galactic community, developing FTL travel independently, establishing colonies on Mars and Europa, even helping resolve the Centaurian plague crisis, the Council had finally offered Earth membership, and with it came this gift. A decommissioned Drachnid warship that was supposedly meant to help Earth's defense forces catch up to galactic standards. The docking procedure took nearly 3 hours, far longer than it should have. When the airlocks finally cycled, Chen led her team aboard. The ship's interior was even worse than the exterior suggested. Emergency lighting cast strange shadows through corridors where ceiling panels hung loose, and the deck plating rattled ominously under their boots. "Check every system," Chen ordered, her voice echoing in the vast, empty command center. "I want to know exactly what we're dealing with." The engineering teams spread throughout the vessel, their handheld scanners painting the darkness with blue light. Paddle stayed with Chen, his tablet continuously streaming data as they explored. "The main quantum core is operating at less than 5% capacity," he reported. "Weapons systems have been completely stripped. Navigation is, well, I wouldn't trust it to guide a garbage scow. They've basically given us a hull with barely enough power to move itself." Chen stopped at what appeared to be a tactical station, running her hand along its cold surface. "What about the hull itself?" "That's interesting." Patil frowned at his readings. "It's a metamaterial we've never encountered before. Some kind of adaptive alloy that." His eyes widened. "Admiral, I don't think they knew what they were giving away." "Explain." "This hull, it's designed to integrate with the quantum core in ways I don't think the Drachnids ever fully utilized. They're so focused on brute force applications, massive energy weapons, and impenetrable shields. But this material, with the right modifications—" He looked up, excitement replacing his earlier frustration. "We could do things they've never even considered." Chen smiled for the first time since the ship arrived. "How long would you need?" 6 months, minimum. We'd have to rebuild nearly everything inside the hull. But," he gestured expansively, "we could use our photonic computing systems instead of their quantum matrices, replace their overcomplicated plasma conduits with our new carbon lattice power distribution. The hull itself could become one massive sensor array or energy collector, or something they'll never see coming." Chen finished. She activated her comlink. "This is Admiral Chen to all engineering teams. I want preliminary reports in 2 hours. Focus on the hull composition and potential integration points for Earth-based systems. And everyone maintains Level 5 security protocols. Nothing we discover leaves this ship." As her teams acknowledged the order, Chen walked to the broad view screen at the front of the command center. Its surface was cracked and dark, but she could still see her reflection. And beyond it, the Earth slowly turning below the station. "They thought they were putting us in our place," she said quietly, "reminding us that we're still primitive compared to their great civilization." Patil joined her at the window. "They forgot that primitive doesn't mean stupid. And they definitely forgot what humans can do with hand-me-downs and spare parts." "How long until the Council expects a response about their gift?" "Protocol suggests we should formally accept or decline within 48 hours. Chen's smile turned predatory. "Accept with gratitude. Tell them we're honored by their generosity and look forward to learning from this example of their advanced technology." And the ship itself. Get me proposals for a complete refit within the week. And Dr. Patel. She turned to face him. Let's show them exactly what humanity can do with their scraps. The engineering teams worked through the night, and with each report, Chen's excitement grew. The aliens had given them exactly what humanity needed. Not a finished weapon, but a canvas. And on that canvas, they would paint something the galaxy had never seen before. They just needed time, ingenuity, and the one thing humans had in abundance: the desire to prove everyone wrong about their capabilities. As Chen left the ship 12 hours later, she paused at the airlock and looked back down its length. Where others saw a wreck, she saw potential. Where the Council intended humiliation, she saw opportunity. "Welcome to Earth," she whispered to the empty corridor. "Let's see what you become." Breaking the rules. The massive engineering bay of Luna Station buzzed with activity as hundreds of Earth's finest technical minds swarmed over the alien vessel. 3 weeks had passed since its arrival, and the ship's interior had been transformed into a maze of temporary workstations, diagnostic equipment, and prototype systems. Dr. Raj Patel stood in the heart of the chaos, directing teams with rapid-fire precision as holographic schematics floated around him. The ship's quantum core hummed with new energy, not the elegant, refined power signature of standard galactic technology, but something rawer, more primal. "Sir," called out Lieutenant Maya Santos, her hands deep in an open panel of circuitry. "The photonic processors are online, but they're not interfacing with the hull's neural network the way we expected." Patil moved to her station, studying the readouts. "That's because we're not trying to interface with it. We're going to hijack it completely." He pulled up a new diagram. "See these pathways? The Drachnids designed them to carry quantum information, but they never pushed the bandwidth to its limits. Watch this." His fingers flew across the controls, and suddenly the dull metal of the hull began to ripple with subtle patterns of light, like oil on water. The effect spread rapidly, covering a 2-meter section before fading away. "Did we just?" Santos stared at the readings in disbelief. "Turn a section of hull into a photonic computer." "Yes, we did." Patil couldn't hide his grin. "The entire hull is made of programmable matter. They used it for basic structural adaptation, but we're going to use it for distributed computing, sensor arrays, and energy manipulation on a scale they never imagined." Above them, in the observation deck, Admiral Chen was having a very different conversation. 3 representatives from the Galactic Council stood before her, their expressions ranging from concerned to openly suspicious. "We merely wish to ensure the gift is being properly utilized," said Ambassador Trell, his crystalline features catching the light as he moved. "Some of our sensors have detected unusual power signatures." "Testing basic systems," Chen replied smoothly. "We're still learning how everything works. I'm sure you understand, given our primitive level of technology." The slight emphasis on primitive wasn't lost on the aliens. Ambassador Trell's aide, a tall Drachnid female, stepped forward. "Perhaps we could offer technical assistance. Our engineers are quite familiar with vessels of this class." "That's very kind," Chen said, "but we wouldn't want to waste your valuable time. After all, this is meant to be a learning experience for us." Back in the engineering bay, the innovations continued. A team led by Dr. Elena Volkov had completely redesigned the power distribution system, replacing the standard plasma conduits with a network of carbon lattice channels that could handle energy loads far beyond normal specifications. "The beauty of it," Volkov explained to Patel, "is that it looks exactly like the original system on their scans. They'll never know we've quadrupled the power capacity unless we want them to know." Similar transformations were happening throughout the ship. The weapons systems, rather than being replaced with standard galactic armaments, were being rebuilt from scratch. Railguns disguised as structural supports, point defense lasers hidden within communication arrays, and most importantly, the revolutionary hull modifications that would change everything. "We're not just fixing their ship," Patil reported to Chen that evening. "We're creating something entirely new, The distributed photonic computing network doesn't just make the ship faster or smarter, it makes it adaptable in ways they've never seen. The hull can reconfigure itself on the molecular level, changing its properties in real time. Chen studied the latest progress reports, and they still can't detect what we're doing. That's the brilliant part. We're using their own technology against them. All our modifications look like crude attempts to repair existing systems, exactly what they'd expect from primitive humans trying to understand advanced technology. The real changes are happening at a level their sensors don't even think to look for. The Admiral nodded slowly. How long until we're ready for a full test? 2 more weeks for basic systems. Another month after that for full integration and battle trials. Patel hesitated. There is one concern. We're picking up increased traffic from Drachnid vessels in the outer system. They're trying to be subtle about it, but they're worried. Chen finished. Good. Let them worry. Let them think we're struggling with their cast-off technology. It will make the revelation all the more impressive when it comes. As if to emphasize her words, a ripple of light passed through the hull beside them. Another successful test of the photonic network. In that brief flash, both officers saw the future. A ship that would redefine what was possible, built from the very gift that was meant to humble them. The galaxy thought they had given Earth a lesson in humility. Instead, they had given humanity the tools to revolutionize space warfare. And when the time came to reveal their creation, the galaxy would learn a very different lesson. Never underestimate human ingenuity, especially when you're trying to prove humans inferior. The Phoenix Protocol. Red warning lights flashed across Luna Station's command center as Admiral Chen studied the tactical display. A fleet of Drachnid warships had just emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system, officially on a routine patrol, but their formation suggested otherwise. They're not even trying to be subtle anymore, Dr. Patil observed, his usual enthusiasm tempered by concern. 3 heavy cruisers, supported by destroyer escorts. That's not a patrol fleet. That's a battle group. Chen's expression remained carefully neutral. How long until the ship is ready? Final systems integration is complete. We're running the last diagnostic checks now. But Patil hesitated, glancing at the tactical display. We haven't had time for a full combat trial. If they force our hand, then we'll adapt, just like the ship. Chen turned to her communications officer. Send our regards to the Drachnid fleet. Inform them that we're honored by their presence and offer any assistance they might need during their patrol. The tension in the solar system had been building for weeks. As the modified ship, now officially designated as EDF Phoenix, neared completion, the number of routine alien visits had increased dramatically. The Galactic Council's representatives had become more insistent in their requests to inspect the vessel, their thinly veiled concerns about proper use of advanced technology growing more frequent. Deep within the Phoenix, Lieutenant Santos supervised the final powered-up sequence. The quantum core, once barely functional, now pulsed with controlled energy. The photonic computing network spread throughout the hull had come alive, turning the entire ship into one massive integrated system. Neural network synchronization at 98.6%, she reported, her voice carrying both pride and amazement. Hull quantum state coherence holding steady, all systems responding. The ship had become something unprecedented, not just a vessel, but a living machine. Its adaptive hull could reconfigure itself in real time, channeling energy and information in ways that defied conventional physics. The distributed computing system allowed it to think and react faster than any AI, while the modified weapons systems remained hidden beneath what appeared to be crude repairs. They're moving closer, Patil announced, watching the tactical display. The lead cruiser is requesting direct communication. Chen nodded. Put them through. The holographic image of Fleet Commander Zextal materialized, a high-ranking Drachnid officer known for his hardline stance against emerging species. Admiral Chen, he began, his translator barely masking the contempt in his voice. We have received concerning reports about modifications to the vessel gifted to your species. The Council requires immediate inspection to ensure compliance with galactic technology protocols. Of course, Commander, Chen replied smoothly. We would be happy to demonstrate our progress, though I fear you'll find our modifications rather primitive by your standards. We're still learning, after all. The Drachnid's eyes narrowed. Our sensors detect unusual energy signatures from your station. You will power down all systems on the modified vessel and prepare for boarding. I'm afraid that won't be possible, Chen said, her tone still pleasant, but with steel underneath. The ship is undergoing critical system tests. Powering down now could be unstable. This is not a request, Admiral. If you refuse, we will be forced to conclude that Earth is in violation of Council technology restrictions. My fleet is authorized to take appropriate action. Inside the Phoenix, Santos watched as new energy patterns ripple through the hull. Sir, she called to Patel. The neural network is adapting to their sensor scans. It's learning their targeting patterns in real time. Patel smiled grimly. Just like we designed it to. Status of the emergency launch protocols. Ready on your command. All systems primed. On the command deck, Chen held Commander Zextal's gaze. Perhaps a compromise, Commander. We would be happy to provide a full demonstration of the ship's capabilities. In fact, she glanced at a secondary display, noting the positions of the Drachnid vessels. I believe we're ready to begin that demonstration now. The Phoenix's hull suddenly blazed with light, patterns of energy flowing across its surface like liquid lightning. Before the Drachnid fleet could react, the ship's adaptive systems had already analyzed their sensor sweeps, weapons configurations, and shield frequencies. Admiral, Patel said quietly, all systems are go. The Phoenix is ready. Chen's smile held no warmth as she addressed the increasingly agitated Drachnid commander. You wanted to see what we've done with your gift, Commander. Allow us to show you exactly what humanity can achieve when properly motivated. The Phoenix rose from its berth, its hull shimmering with possibilities, ready to show the galaxy that humanity's primitive solutions could change the rules of space warfare forever. The time for hiding their true capabilities was over. Now it was time to soar. First contact, first blood. The Phoenix moved with impossible grace for a ship its size, its hull rippling with patterns of light as it accelerated toward the Drachnid battle group. Commander Zextal's face disappeared from the communications display, replaced by targeting data and battle metrics. They're powering up weapons, Santos reported from her station. Standard Drachnid attack pattern. Trying to box us in with their destroyers while the cruisers maintain distance for long-range strikes. Admiral Chen stood at the center of the Phoenix's bridge, watching as the enemy formation unfolded exactly as expected. Let them think they have us contained. Dr. Patel, is the hull ready? Neural network at full capacity, Patel confirmed, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. The photonic matrix has already mapped their entire battle strategy based on their ship positions. We can predict their moves before they make them. The first volley of plasma torpedoes streaked from the Drachnid destroyers, their energy signatures blazing on tactical displays. But the Phoenix didn't dodge. Instead, its hull began to change at the molecular level, the adaptive material shifting its quantum state in microseconds. The plasma torpedoes struck and were absorbed completely, their energy feeding directly into the ship's power grid. Impossible. The audio channels crackled with Drachnid communications. Their shields. They have no shields. How did they survive? Who needs shields? Patel muttered with satisfaction. When your entire hull can adapt to any form of energy weapon. He turned to Chen. Power reserves at 120% and climbing. They're literally charging our batteries for us. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Time to show them our own modifications. Lieutenant Santos, target the nearest destroyer. Use configuration alpha. The Phoenix's hull shifted again, sections that appeared to be simple structural reinforcement, suddenly revealing themselves as highly advanced railgun arrays. But these weren't ordinary kinetic weapons. They fired projectiles accelerated by the same adaptive quantum technology that powered the hull. The first shot crossed the space between ships faster than the Drachnid sensors could track. It struck the destroyer's shields, which had been calibrated to defend against energy weapons, not physical projectiles moving at near-relativistic speeds. The shield shattered like glass, and the destroyer's port side crumpled inward. "Target disabled," Santos announced. "Their power core is offline. Life support holding. Send to all Drachnid vessels," Chen ordered. "We have demonstrated a fraction of our capabilities. Stand down, and we can discuss this civilized manner." Instead of responding, the Drachnid cruisers opened fire with their main batteries. Streams of concentrated plasma and quantum torpedoes filled space, enough firepower to vaporize a small moon. The Phoenix's hull blazed brighter, absorbing and redirecting energy faster than the Drachnid weapons could deliver it. "They're trying to overload our systems," Patil observed, though he sounded more excited than concerned. "Should we show them what happens when you give us too much power?" Chen nodded. "Execute Phoenix Protocol." The ship's entire hull transformed into one massive energy matrix. All the power absorbed from the Drachnid attacks was channeled through the photonic computing network, focused and refined. For a moment, the Phoenix glowed like a newborn star. Then it released everything in a controlled quantum cascade. The energy pulse wasn't designed to destroy. Instead, it swept through the Drachnid fleet like a wave, disrupting their power systems and leaving their ships drifting and defenseless. "All enemy vessels disabled," Santos reported. "Their cores are in emergency shutdown. Life support and artificial gravity still functional, but weapons and propulsion are offline. Open a channel to Commander Zextol," Chen ordered. The Drachnid commander's face appeared once more, his crystalline features twisted with a mixture of shock and rage. What kind of weapons are these?" he demanded. "This technology is impossible." "Not impossible," Chen corrected. "Just unexpected. You gave us a broken ship, thinking we could never understand its true potential. But humanity has a long history of taking cast-off technology and reimagining it. We didn't just repair your gift. We revolutionized it. The Council will hear of this," Zextol threatened. "This level of weapons development by an emerging species is perfectly legal under Council law," Chen interrupted. "We used only technology that was given to us. The fact that we used it in ways you never imagined, that's not our problem. Now, shall we discuss the terms of your fleet's withdrawal from Earth space?" As the diplomatic negotiations began, Patil studied the readings from the battle. The Phoenix had performed beyond even their highest expectations. Its adaptive hull had proven that humanity's primitive approach to space warfare, combining kinetic weapons with advanced energy manipulation, could overcome even the most sophisticated galactic defenses. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Santos said quietly, watching the hull's energy patterns slowly stabilize. "They thought they were giving us junk, but they really gave us a canvas." "That's always been humanity's greatest strength," Patil replied. "We don't just use technology. We reimagine it, reinvent it, make it into something new." The Phoenix hung in space, its hull still shimming with possibility, a testament to human ingenuity and a warning to any who would underestimate Earth's potential. The galaxy had just learned a crucial lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous gift is the one given to those you believe too primitive to use it properly. Respect among the stars. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with tense energy as representatives from 100 species debated the events that had transpired in Earth's solar system. The massive holographic display at the chamber center showed detailed scans of the Phoenix, its hull still rippling with those mysterious patterns of light that had so thoroughly upended the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. Admiral Chen stood at the speaker's podium, Dr. Patil at her side, facing the assembled council. Above them, the ancient races that had ruled space for millennia struggled to comprehend how their carefully structured hierarchy had been disrupted by a species they'd considered primitive mere months ago. "This is unprecedented," declared High Counselor Vexthorian, his crystalline form shifting colors with agitation. "The modification of gifted technology to this degree. It threatens the very foundation of our technological exchange protocols." "With respect, High Counselor," Chen replied, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber. "We followed every protocol exactly. The ship was given to Earth as an unconditional gift. No restrictions were placed on how we could modify it. Because we never imagined," started another council member, before catching herself. The unspoken truth hung in the air. They never imagined humans could do what they had done. Patel stepped forward, activating his own presentation. "What you're seeing isn't just modification, it's evolution. We didn't break your technology. We helped it reach its full potential. The adaptive hull material you used solely for structural integrity. We realized it could form the basis of a distributed quantum computing network. The power core you thought was dying. We found ways to channel energy that your systems never considered." The technical display showed the Phoenix's systems in action. Hull plating that could absorb and redirect energy, conventional railguns enhanced by quantum mechanics, and the revolutionary photonic computing network that turned the entire ship into one integrated system. "Impossible," muttered a Drachnid scientist. "The power requirements alone. Only impossible if you think in traditional ways," Patel countered. "We didn't try to copy your methods. We looked at what was possible with the materials you gave us and found our own path." Ambassador Trell, who had originally presented the gift to Earth, shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "And what do you intend to do with this innovation?" Chen's response was measured. "That depends entirely on the Council. Earth is ready to share our advancements, to work together as true equals in the galactic community. The Phoenix isn't just a warship, it's proof that different perspectives have value, that sometimes the most significant breakthroughs come from those you least expect." The chamber erupted in discussion, hundreds of conversations in dozens of languages filling the air. But there was a different tone now, not just alarm or indignation, but curiosity. Species that had looked down on Earth were suddenly reviewing their assumptions. A Meridian elder, their bioluminescent form pulsing thoughtfully, addressed the chamber. Perhaps we have been too rigid in our thinking, too convinced that advanced civilization could develop in only one way. The humans have shown us that innovation doesn't always follow a linear path. We propose," Chen continued, "a new form of collaboration. Earth will share our insights into adaptive quantum technologies, and in return, we ask for full membership in the Council, not as students to be taught, but as partners in pushing the boundaries of what's possible." The debate lasted for hours, but the outcome was never really in doubt. The Phoenix had done more than prove humanity's worth. It had demonstrated that the galaxy's technological development had grown stagnant, trapped by conventional thinking and rigid hierarchies. One by one, the Council members voted. Earth would join the Council as a full member, its technological innovations studied and shared throughout the galaxy. The Phoenix would become the first of a new class of ships, combining human ingenuity with alien technology in ways that would revolutionize space travel. As they left the chamber, Patel turned to Chen. "You know, they're still struggling to understand how we did it. They keep looking for some grand technological breakthrough, some magical new science." Chen smiled. "And they're missing the real innovation, human creativity. Our ability to look at something broken and see possibility, to take scraps and cast-offs and turn them into something revolutionary." The Phoenix waited in orbit above, its hull shimmering with possibilities. It would no longer be unique. Already, shipyards throughout Earth's territory were beginning construction on more vessels using the same principles. But it would always be remembered as the ship that changed everything. The gift that was meant to humble humanity had instead become the key to their ascension. "What's our next project?" Patil asked as they boarded their shuttle. Chen looked out at the stars. No longer distant, unreachable points of light, but doorways to humanity's future. Everything, she said simply. They thought they were testing us, containing us. Instead, they gave us exactly what we needed to show the galaxy who we really are. The shuttle docked with the Phoenix, and as they walked through its corridors, the hull sang with energy, a constant reminder that sometimes the greatest achievements come not from having the most advanced technology, but from having the vision to see what that technology could become. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not by following the path others had laid out, but by forging their own. And in doing so, they had taught the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Never underestimate a species that can turn your scraps into stars.